Since Jill had no ID, it took them about a week to identify her using her fingerprints. The suspicious part is where they found her body. It was a place where S-workers would be, and so the detective will go over there and ask the workers, did you see anything? Did you know anything about this? They didn't want to talk. And then, and I quote, this is what the detective said. If you're from Fresno, listen to this. Let's talk about the unsolved mystery and true crime of Jill Ann Weatherwax, also known as Miss Hollywood, who was originally from Fenton, Michigan, and was found unalived here in Fresno, California. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Moon Witch. I usually talk about haunted places, true crimes, urban legend, and history of Fresno. So with that being said, let's get straight into this unsolved mystery true crime of Jill Ann Weatherwax. A little backstory about Jill Ann Weatherwax. She grew up in Fenton, Michigan. She was also a former beauty queen. She knew how to dance. She knew how to sing. She even went to school for cosmetology. And also her and her family were knit tight, saying that they were very close. And so she departed to Hollywood in 1990. Fast forward, Jill found success and she was crowned Miss Hollywood. Now with her prize, she had a contract with a London recording company. And so she flew out to London to record 2 CDs. Now, the owner of the London recording company was Cyril Orsini and soon became her boyfriend. Her and her boyfriend Cyril came back to America and soon the relationship started falling apart. And then this is where it starts getting strange. Her friends and family said she became paranoid. She started feeling like people were after her trying to unalive her. Her friend even said within 5 years, she was a whole different person. Her life started falling apart. Everything started going wrong for her. And in August 1997, she was charged with public intoxication. Fast forward even more, on March 19th, 1998, she came to Fresno, where the next day she was arrested for being drunk in public. And then on March 24th, around 10:30 p.m., she was seen at the Villa Motel with guys who were like 20 years old, estimated to be 20 years old, and then she left with them in a car. The following day at 1 p.m., a construction worker found her unalived body in the middle of the field with multiple stab wounds, and she was bludgeoned to death surrounded by used condoms. And I quote, since Jill had no ID, it took them about a week to identify her using her fingerprints. The suspicious part is where they found her body. It was a place where S-workers would be, and so the detective will go over there and ask the workers, did you see anything? Did you know anything about this? They didn't want to talk. And then, and I quote, this is what the detective said. Jerry Davis, who headed the investigation, stated, it's one of those tragic endings that we often see when someone becomes involved in a spiral of drug use that turns into prostitution that ultimately ended in murder. And I quote. So if you're from Fresno, drop down a comment and let me know, did you ever hear about the unsolved missing true crime of Jill Ann Weatherwax? I believe this was a setup. I think they placed her body there to make it look like she was an S-worker, and then she got blamed for it. Basically, they were victimizing the victim, if that makes sense. Well, drop down a comment and let me know.